is the Business Breakfast
on Dubai Eye 103.8.
Right, a lot of people out there concerned with good reason at the moment, but just how concerned should we be? Dan Chadwick, recruitment expert, co-founder of Chase Talent and founder of the Middle East Career Accelerator itself, a platform which helps candidates get visible for roles in the Middle East, is with us here in studio to give us his expert opinion on the markets at the moment. Dan, good to see you with us. Thanks so much indeed for joining us.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, let's just deal with it straight away. The elephant in the room. Current situation. What impact is that having on hiring here in Dubai?
Well, we actually deal with a lot of sort of homegrown businesses here at the moment. So we deal with international consultancies, construction consultancies. We're in the construction consultancy architecture type of space, and we also deal with some local fit-out companies here as well. Yeah. So actually, last week we had our busiest interview week in 2 years, just last week. And obviously those interviews were arranged prior, but all those interviews did go ahead. So that just goes to show you that people are still hiring. And I think this is a different city now to what it was, say, 19 years ago when we had or 17 years ago when we had the global financial crisis, right? And there's a lot more homegrown businesses that have got roots here in the Middle East, in the region, in the UAE, people like you and I who have been here a long time, right? So I think as long as those people aren't going anywhere, then that's a bullish signal.
Are you seeing or hearing of talent leaving?
Not as yet. I think what might happen is, again, much like the global financial crisis, and I don't think you can draw too many comparisons. Obviously, it's a different situation. It's a different city now. But what may happen is that a lot of the freelance visa type of people that are here, the younger crowd that maybe can work from anywhere, that don't have businesses, don't have strong roots in the country and in the region, they might leave. But I think people like, I'm here, I have a business, I have a family, you're going to stick around, right? This is your home.
Let's get a bit of advice from you if we can. I mean, as I mentioned, you've got the Middle East Career Accelerator there. You're all about proffering advice to professionals. What is your advice to professionals, even if they are, heading into work this morning or they're currently secure at the moment? What should they be thinking about?
I think it's about staying visible and understanding that things may change in the short term or the long term and being prepared for that. So, obviously have your CV up to date, have your LinkedIn up to date, keep the networks open so that if things do happen, you have options. And that's what we try and do without wanting to plug it too much. We try and keep people front of mind for roles so that they're considered for those positions. And I think, just keep yourself out there and keep talking to people.
One of our sort of mantras here is obviously just listen to official news sources and official news lines. There is so much news out there at the moment and a lot coming in from international news sources as well. What's that doing with regards to the appetite for relocation to the region for work?
Yeah, I mean, I can speak for my community that we have, and we've got about 70 people in the platform, the Career Accelerator community at the moment, and that's a mix of people that are here looking for a new role. It's a mix of people from all over the world, Europe, the UK, the US, etc. And honestly, all of those people are still looking to come out here. So that small sample size shows you that people do still have the appetite to come. Whether that will change, I'm not sure. I think, of course, there's the international media, which is reporting slightly differently from what we are. Does that have an impact on candidates wanting to come here? If it does in the future and businesses still want to hire, that may have an impact on salaries because, of course, as we've seen it change over the years, and this is a much more desirable place to be now, salaries have stagnated or come down because of simple supply and demand and appetite to come here. If that changes, then salaries may have to increase to attract talent. So I think that's where we're at. It may change the landscape a little bit.
To the CEOs, to the hirers out there at the moment, again, a lot of businesses will be looking at their bottom lines. They will be looking at their salaries, etc. What's your advice to them again? And the reason I'm asking that is, as you've just said, we are only a week into. Is there the risk of knee-jerk reactions from companies?
I think everyone recognises that we're a week into this, and it's a week in a decades long growth for this region and for this country. The incredible strong leadership that we've seen over the last week and over the previous decade. Really, we came back from the global financial crisis. We came back from COVID. We had a dip in 2014 approximately. So we've always bounced back, and I think people do have quite short-term outlooks by human nature. You worry about things, and as we were discussing previously, this week does seem like it's been longer than a week for many reasons.
Yeah.
But it is just a week, and I think we have to take each day as it comes. We have to look at the macroeconomics of it a little bit more. If we're talking about salaries, I think there's more to it than just salaries. Will construction costs increase due to Strait of Hormuz situation or oil prices increasing? And that will have a big effect on project delivery. Are those projects going to be delivered? But at the moment, we see construction sites still going, projects being delivered, and therefore people are required to deliver those projects.
I mean, you've highlighted that the job market is a lot more mature now.
Yes.
As is our understanding of situations left, right, and centre. Is that going to be a benefit for? We're not so reliant on international businesses that might have international protocols when it comes to hiring and firing. There's a lot more local businesses now.
Yeah, I think it's all about where the decision making takes place, right? So if the decision making is out of the country and they're seeing things from through a different lens than we are, as we discuss with the media, etc., there may be caution. I think it's right to. There will be caution with bigger businesses and with international businesses, of course. But I actually, before I came on the show Thursday or Friday, I took the opportunity to talk to some of our bigger clients, our international clients. And really, the only thing that it's affected is mobilisation with flight disruption. I think hiring appetite hasn't slowed. But the decision-making has slowed because people have been homeschooling, there's been disruption to daily lives, etc. So we'll see how this sort of new normal plays out, and we'll see what happens after the school holidays, which is a big thing as well for parents being at home. But, yeah, I think the appetite's still there. Candidates still want to come here, and, the outlook is good for the time being.
In terms of that as well, and I suppose a lot of people are going, if they are concerned that might prompt people to, follow up on a couple of the requests they've got out there. That's all good and well when you're applying directly. But again, people like yourself, recruiters and hiring managers out there are also going through this. So this sort of element of patience, is that what you're calling for a lot of candidates at the moment?
Yeah, I think patience especially is key, right? So I'm a big advocate of following up with people and putting yourself out there in this market where everything's so hyper accessible on the internet. You just spoke to your Flight Radar guy there about how accessible data is, and that goes for jobs as well, and that's why we see such a volume of applicants these days. And so I'm a big advocate of following up in the right way, but this is a slightly different situation. You have to be patient, and you still have to be direct, relevant, value-driven in your approach when you're speaking to people and applying to people. I understand people want to say, we hope you're safe and stay safe and all of that, and that's very nice to hear, but let's talk about what's relevant to that person in terms of what you're offering as a candidate, and keep it value-driven and relevant, yeah.
I love this phrase that you've given me, keep on keeping on. I think that should be a T-shirt for us all at the moment.
Keep on keeping on, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Look, really appreciate it, Dan. Thanks so much indeed for coming into the studio with yet more reassurance. Dan Chadwick there, the recruitment expert, co-founder of Chase Talent, joining us live here in the studio. Right, let's